Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe. In this video today, I want to diagnose a problem that has been that I've recently noticed with my car. This is a Toyota Corolla, 2010 Toyota Corolla LE, and the problem I've been having lately is a rough idle, and I do not have a check engine light on the car for me to, for the car to show me what the problem is. And when I experience this rough idles is when the car is in a stop state. I experience rough idle like right now. Everything seems normal, and when I'm driving a car as well, if I press the brake, I experience rough idle. And recently, I just fill up my gas tank. The car rough idles as well. Now, as I mentioned, there's no check engine light on the car, but you see this device I have here. What this device does in the car is it gives me Wi-Fi, it gives me tracking, and at the same time, it monitors the engine for me. So this device already picked like I have a check engine light, and when I go to the app, Metro PCS app, I click on the Smart Ride app. Now it shows I have a check engine light on it. Like this is the check engine light, and here I don't have any check engine light. And if I click on it, you can see it told me I have a P0171 system lean back 1. So what causes this lean code is if there is an excess amount of air getting into your engine, the engine computer is going to pick a lean code because it takes both air, gas, and then spark to make your engine run. And if you have more air in the system than what it should have, your car is going to throw a code like you have a lean code. So there's definitely a leak somewhere. And what is the issue? You said I could have a vacuum leak or inlet hose leak somewhere loose. So that's extra here getting into my engine. And you can see, like I said, I don't have a check engine light on, but this definitely tells me like, hey, I have a lean code. And the best way to diagnose this would be for me to do a smoke test in the engine bay to see where the leak is coming from. But that's a lot of job, that's a lot of job for me. I don't have a smoke machine and all these things. But one thing I've noticed is that when I fill up my tank at the gas station, I experience rough idle. And when I press my brake, when the car is driving, I experience rough idle. This takes me to know that there's a leak somewhere between my purge valve in the engine bay, which is supposed to purge the gas vapor coming from the charcoal canister back into the engine. There's a vacuum line on it. So the fact that when I fill up my gas, I experience that it's leaning, it's taking me towards that. So I will show you. I'll go in my engine and check the line on the solenoid valve in there, the purge valve in there. What I'm suspecting is the solenoid purge valve, but this is where it's located. So let me open this engine cover up. Now, this is my solenoid valve, right? This is the line coming from the charcoal canister from the back. So right here, this is the vacuum line going straight into my throttle body coming from here, and there's another vacuum line from here, and this other one is going straight back into the master brake. So with the symptoms I have in this car, number one, when I fill up my tank, I experience rough idle. So which means the fuel vapor coming from the charcoal canister comes through here, and there's supposed to be a vacuum line, that to pull it and send it back into the engine. And this is my master brake, and I told you when I press this is the master brake over here, this one, and I told you when I press my brake as well, because there's a vacuum line going in there from here. This is the other vacuum line, this one that goes right here and all the way to the back over there and goes into the master brake. So these two vacuum line I'm suspecting. So for one, I'm suspecting this solenoid valve, but before I do anything, test the solenoid valve, let me just check the line here and make sure everything is working good. So this is the line coming from, you're going to physically inspect it and make sure there's no crack in this line. And this is the vacuum side. I'm just going to inspect this. This is the vacuum side coming down this way and into this hose over here. So one thing is, I'm going to remove this hose and physically inspect it. Oh Lord, you guys see this? Wow, there's a crack in here. Okay, so let me pull this guy out. Just gonna pull it out completely. All right, but look at what I found. Interesting. Look at all this crack on the vacuum line coming from the solenoid valve. So definitely there's a problem. You see, I have to replace this hose. Yeah, this is a huge crack, and the crack goes all the way down in there. Yep. So when that will explain, because this is the line, this is a vacuum line, and all this goes into the intake. So if there's extra here coming in through this line of the solenoid valve getting into here, it's gonna make my engine rough idle. Yeah, definitely this is my problem. I can as well go ahead and test the solenoid purge valve to see if there's no open cycle, the vacuum is not the valve is not leaking. But that's going to be another video for another day. But I'm very sure this is where my problem is coming from. So guys, if you ever have a rough idle with your car, or you experience link code which shows that you have excess here coming into the system, you might want to make sure you check all the vacuum lines. I'm just gonna have to buy this. I'm sure the leak is so minute, that's why the car has not thrown check engine light on me. I'm gonna replace this hose, and I hope this video helps someone out there to make sure you always check your vacuum line and make sure you don't have any leak in the vacuum.